For improved system performance, long-term financial returns, and less risk on your PV projects, look to the proven performance of DuPont Materials and Solutions.
Hello and welcome to the program. Coming up, photovoltaics market booming in US, a catalogue of woes hits Trina Solar, and a PV Tech exclusive. Can the postcode provide the secret to the most profitable regions for solar in the United States? According to the latest report from IMS Research, PV installations in the US in the first half of the year have reached 1.7 gigawatts, a massive growth of over 120%. With utility-scale projects typically back-end loaded, the market research firm expects installations in the US to reach around 4.3 gigawatt this year. As a result of the massive increase in US demand, the country is expected to become the third largest PV market in 2012 and accounting for 40% of new capacity growth. With global installations expected to have exceeded 13 gigawatt in the first 6 months, a new half-yearly record of almost 18 gigawatt is forecast for the second half of the year, in excess of 31 gigawatt for the full year. With a debt of $16 billion, Japanese electronics manufacturer Sharp Corporation has been feeling the weight on its shoulders and will submit an asset report to its banks next month in order to identify any flagging businesses it could sell to raise some much-needed finance. Until the report is ready, Mizuho and Mitsubishi Financial Groups will provide several tens of billions of yen in stopgap financing. We covered Sharp's recent quarterly results in a previous newscast when it reported a quarterly loss of $1.76 billion. Media reports, especially this coming from Japan, highlight that Sharp's solar operations could be up for grabs. Following recently revised second quarter financial results, Trina Solar produced a long list of issues that contributed to growing losses and a meaningful reduction in its full-year shipment guidance. A major shake-up of its senior management structures have been made that included the exit of its chief commercial officer, Mark Kinsley, who had only been appointed last May. The company posted net revenues of $346.1 million for the second quarter, but net losses climbed to $92.1 million. The company could be on track to lose several $100 million this year, according to financial analysts. Increased losses and deepening negative margins underlined growing concerns over the failure of the PV industry to tackle chronic overcapacity and the continuation of falling prices. Trina is the first Tier 1 supplier to make meaningful downward revisions to its full-year shipment guidance due to market conditions. PV module prices had enjoyed a short period of stability in June due to high demand in Germany and Italy, but began to decline again in July. Over June, average prices fell by more than 2% and 44% down annually, according to the latest monthly module price report from IMS Research. But demand peaked in Germany in June as developers rushed to connect systems by June 30th, before the grace period under the previous and more attractive feed-in tariff rates expired. The resulting slowdown in demand meant that module prices slipped again in July by 2.4%. Chinese Tier 1 module prices declined by almost 3%, whilst the largest decline came from Western suppliers, whose prices declined by over 5%. PV module supply still far exceeds demand, and suppliers are continuing to engage in fierce price competition. And finally, we come full circle this week with an exclusive analysis from Kaiser Analytics at a time when the US PV market is booming. Analysts and company executives alike face a number of difficulties in answering this very important question: which are the most profitable regions for solar in the United States? Last year, report author Richard Kaiser wrote exclusively for PV Tech on the US market inflection point for solar adoption in the US. Now he takes a close look at where the boom areas of the vast country are and, importantly, where they will appear next. Such analysis is made almost impossible as US incentives change in structure, decrease or expire, and electricity prices change in both magnitude and composition. All of these variables affect a market's attractiveness, which itself can also change substantially over time. And not forgetting there are over 40,000 zip or postcodes in the US. What is needed, according to Kaiser, is not an irradiation map, but a solar PV economic map, a dynamic map that combines the relevant variables, keeps them current, and accurately calculates consumer return on investment by region, today and in the future. Kaiser says that the best way to understand solar PV economics is to replace the overused and poorly understood term grid parity with a more precise taxonomy: solar PV cost and solar PV competitiveness. When linked to a zip code, his analysis claims to provide the answer to the question. You can find this exclusive guest blog on the PV Tech website, and don't forget to check out other exclusive blogs from this week which cover a range of unique and hot topics. Thanks for watching. See you next time.